offers address on contemporary research on preparedness of future service. Our chief guest is a senior lecturer at Taylor's University, Malaysia, under the School of Hospitality and Tourism and Events. Her specialization areas include service innovation, service delivery, and service design in the hospitality in industry. Within his research interests, he has published in many international referred journals and has a successful complemented many national and university level research projects. He also been awarded the gold medal at the e-learning Carnival 2019. With his gained service of industry experience in hospitality sector, working at different levels and in academic, he is now really and integrated by the possibility and innovative changes in his career of industry.
Dr. Rupam Konaso, you can proceed, sir.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope everybody
Thank you,
can
sir.
hear me.
Yes, sir, your voice is audible,
Right.
sir.
Good. Thank you very much. All right. Hello. Good morning to everybody. Greetings from Taylor's University, Malaysia. And thank you to Hindustan College for inviting me over this session. Uh, Again, I know we are all going through this unprecedented time, okay, that we haven't never experienced before, but we have to go through this. We all will go through this, and definitely it will going to overcome very soon. So with that, my topic is on mostly research. Okay, so I will focus more on how the service industry is actually moving and further, and how we can proceed with that, and identifying the new and the contemporary research agendas that have, and we can actually go through that. So most importantly, the important aspect of research is about contribution, right? So we all are doing research in our respective field. We are really intrigued about it, and the reason is we are doing so much of progression is because we love to do research. Our intention is to provide the contribution to the industry, to the social community we are living in, and also to our academic institution. I believe looking at the crowd, there is immense number of people, over 120 participants here. It's very good to see. It is also another aspect is that we are all joining this kind of session is on in order to get some knowledge, in order to get some information that will going to really help in our future research. Okay, so that is with that the most important aspect that we are considering these days is services, right? We are always integrated ourselves into different services. We are always integrated in uh, we have different aspect to look at. We are using our mobile phone that is also like a mini computer. We are looking at doing virtual seminars, webinars that we never had thought before, right? So if you look back 5 to 7 years back, we never thought of doing this sort of virtual webinars or seminars throughout the world, anywhere you want to go. So one of the important aspect is how these services, the supporting services, are really helping the community, the academia, the industry. So the most important aspect, if you consider that you are looking into today, is varieties of service, right? We are living in this age where different services are really impactful. Okay, so one of the reason behind is the service economy, or the service economy, which leads to more like experience economy. So there is a term which is coined in 2011 by the researcher called Pine and Gilmore, okay, where they talked about more on how this experience economy going to move the further services, okay, into different dimensions. If you look back 10 to 15 years back, we never realized that how our single small communities, for example, coffee, right? I believe everybody loves tea or coffee, but now it's becoming more on experiences. Okay, so I am from the field of hospitality and tourism. So I will give more related example to that field because I'm an expertise in that. Okay, so here, just on a simple example of coffee, it is very important that we should understand that the coffee is just a small commodity, right? Based on that particular commodity, we have created multiple varieties of experiences, right? Now, if you look back, there are Starbucks, there are different places, baristas are there, coffee shops are there, cafe coffee days are there, right? So that is basically creating, giving you experiences, and that is important for people. So it doesn't matter you're buying like a 10 rupees coffee or you're buying 140 rupees coffee. What is the differences? The differences lies in the services that you're getting, the service experience that you're receiving. All right. So with that, I'll just like to share my slides. Just give me a second. Okay. All right. I hope everybody can able to see my screen. It's quite visible, I believe. My research, my topic today is more on research, as I mentioned before. So it's more on contemporary research on the preparedness of future service industry. Okay, so I'm from Hospitality, School of Hospitality, Tourism and Events in Talis University. Very good introductory speech given by one of your delegates itself. So moving on, the most important thing as we talk about service economy, okay, more towards the service experience, it is very relevant to say that while so many companies are coming up with these different kind of services, the research is also becoming very important, because without research we cannot know something new, right? The research is the first stepping stone for innovation, first stepping stone to move forward, right? So with that, it's been said by Steve Jobs himself, it is really hard to design services, right? Because a lot of times people don't know what they want until you show it to them, right? So this is a very relevant quote from him, because for many of the companies, I'm sorry, maybe if you can mute your mic.
Just a second, sir. I remove her, sir. Just a second, sir.
Sure. Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So as I mentioned before, it's really hard to design services. The reason is there's so many companies are coming, right? If you look back even 5 years back, there's not much of companies were there. The companies are more towards product based, right? They are developing new products, but this is now all service based. Right, you think about Uber, Grab. Then in Southeast Asia we have Grab. In India we have again Ola. All these kind of services are part of the service economy, right? It's a part of this sharing economy, which is actually creating experiences for the guest, the tourist, and everybody else. Other than that, we have other aspects. For example, the Oyo hotels, right? They are really progressed through the times very quickly, very rapidly. They made a lot of market share. And then you can think of any OTAs, online travel agency, Booking.com, Expedia, then Agoda. There are so many of them, and what they're creating for the consumer is experiences, right? So there are a lot of companies are coming up, and which is giving us, to the academics, a lot of opportunities to share, the opportunities to do research, to do more into this respective field, right? So one of the driving forces, or the three of the major driving forces of service or experience economy, is the digitalization of the data. In our fingertips, we can easily get any amount of data you need. For example, if you're a lecturer, you need information, you have YouTube, Vimeo, there's other platform, okay, as well as other supporting platform from Microsoft. Then you have Google Garage that are helping to increase the knowledge of ours, okay, increase the knowledge of the academics as well as the students. So digitalization of the data, now you can get you don't have to go to the library to get all the books, because all the books are mostly been digitalized, right, on the social media platform. That is also another platform that created this, another ways of looking into the different perspective, a perspective where we can do much more research. So I believe most of you have seen in your respective field that a lot of research are going on based on social media, because the social media is one of the place where you can get so much of information. Even you can collect your data, right, to doing a survey, to doing interviews over the different the platform they're providing, even the customer experience ecosystem. All right, so CX is a short form of abbreviation of the customer experience. So customer experience is becoming much more important these days, right? Because most of the companies, they don't have their own assets. For example, social media doesn't have their own assets, right? It's a Facebook. If you think of Facebook, it's just using our own personal data, putting in a platform where they can actually able to show them to the others, our friends, colleague, family members, across the world. So it's just a platform which providing immense experience to this kind of the ecosystem, or this kind of system where you can get much more better experiences, right? So moving on, how the industry, or how the service industry is moving forward, right? We just experienced this COVID-19, which has really toppled our the way we have to done our business, or so far we have been doing our business. Our business model has to be changed. For example, institution, university, like everybody's else, we are going online virtually rather than physical be in the class. So all this happening just because a single aspect, just because a single pandemic, right? So the industry is not just stopping by. The industry is moving forward, right? So what they're doing, most importantly, they are changing their business model. Most importantly, observing, collecting the information from the consumer, then foreseeing the future, how they can actually do better job, or how they can uplift the customer service experience in this industry and moving forward, right? Further, in moving into like engaging the customers, okay, further co-creating, engaging your customer and creating something new services that will help the industry, that will help the customer. So what you are getting from here is the opportunities in this crisis. So the most important takeaway from this particular slide is how can you create more opportunities from the crisis you're going to have. So what are the different opportunities of research you can actually conduct, just depending upon this crisis? Okay, I believe most of you have seen there are so many call for papers from different journals that are always trying to engage people, or try asking people to submit their research into their journals, because they want to publish those information, they want to publish those data in order to make sure that you get some recognition, as well as give some information to the research group, or the community, or the academics, right? So further, in the contemporary service sector, it is very important, the service we should not neglect, right? So these services, as mentioned by Gustafson and J. Johnson in 2003, quite a while back, the services have become or come to dominate our economies. Adding values through services has become more essential way to compete, right? So it is the way that you can actually move forward. It is the way you can actually compete with your competitors. Okay, if you look at your institution itself, I believe your institution is also competing with other institution in your area, because based upon the capabilities and the capacity of the lecturers that they got, right? So this is all about adding value to the service, no matter it's a service in the academic sector, no matter it's a service in the banking sector, no matter it's service in the tourism and hospitality sector. We are all competing with each other depending upon the level of competencies we have, right? The unique selling proposition we have. Okay, so today the consumer are more looking towards the service value, right? Comprehensive solutions, memorable experience. That these are the three things that really matters to the today's consumer. Okay, so which leads to understand us that what are the research and development, or R&D, is doing in the service industry. More importantly, it's more on innovative service driving the economy. right? Because we are into a age where services are very, very important. If these services are not innovative, it will be obsolete from the market, right? If you think of product companies, they are getting obsolete from the market because they don't have supporting services. Think of the phone companies, HTC, Nokia, they are becoming obsolete from the market just because they don't have the supporting services, based on what the new consumer demands, right? Looking at the social renewal, looking at the competitiveness, that is very, very important. Okay, how can you help the society? How can you renew the society you are living in, right? Further, accelerating the dynamic innovation through the internal market. Just give you an example of different markets in the Southeast Asia region, as well as China, as well as US. They are constantly testing their internal market, what their internal people wants. Okay, if there is a technology that may be exclusive to that market, everybody might have experienced that there are some services which is exclusive to the US market. There are some services which is just exclusive to the China market. There are some services which is just exclusive to the Southeast Asia market, right? So that is the reason that we're accelerating the dynamic innovation within your own internal market. That will help. So this could be a good research opportunity for everybody, that what are the internal services or contextual services that the market or the companies are providing. Further is qualification and advanced training offering to the organization of the work. It is also becoming very important. I believe everybody looking up to the news that Google are no more dependent, or Microsoft is no more dependent on academic degrees. They are more towards some course specific or area specific or expertise specific trainings that they are offering to their interns, they're offering to their employees. So we have to think beyond, okay, that how could you improve your services, maybe academic services in colleges, universities, that will help our future generation in order to cope up with the industry demands, right? Then we have academic and public discussions that are helping these service trends to succeed and overcoming the one perspective or one dimensional perspective. So that's why industry are constantly collaborating with academic services, constantly collaborating with different public forums in order to discuss what sort of product, what sort of service they require. Okay, so this is also another opportunities for academics like us to do research upon that. Okay, lastly is the knowledge and the labor intensive services are separated from the traditional working process. So we know that due to the advanced technology development, for example AI, okay, then artificial learning, as well as the AR, virtual reality, all these technological the aspect are actually cutting down the labors, more of repetitive job. Okay, so that is also a way forward, but there are new job opportunities are coming, right? If I talk about the hotel industry, we never had 5 years back social media analyst. Okay, we never have like experienced manager. So these kind of new job opportunities are also coming, that are attracting more of researchers, attracting new talents in the industry. So the main importance of research, if you look from the academic perspective and the industry perspective, is just bridging the gap. Okay, so the research more important is how can you bridge the gap between academic and the industry. First of all is the collaboration opportunities. You people are in a different respective fields, okay, working towards your different agendas, research agendas. So what are the different collaboration opportunities you can have from the industry? You should look forward. Okay, different research funding that could help you in your research, as well as your institution to be more prominent to the market. Then further awareness in the industry trends, okay, that you can do some research on that. There are so many call for papers that you can do research based on the industry trends going on. Then aspiration from discussions, sharing outcomes with the industry, that is also helpful in order to what the research output you are making. Then long-tail topics that are driving innovation. What are the new topics are coming into the service industry that you have to look out for? And that is more important because industry want that. Industry want something new should happen to their industry itself and the services. Okay, so that will help in overall, the community renewal. Then you have the overall industry renewal. It will help. All right. So what are the different challenges we are facing in the for the research development? Okay, more importantly, that the challenges we are facing is more on some specific points that I have put down. First of all is renewing established task. Okay, so there are a lot of research being done before. Can you renew it? Can you look from a different lens? Can you look from a different perspective from the service industry? So specific areas are like design of service work, service quality, service delivery system. These are the areas that you can look into the service industry for new research opportunities. Okay, further you have co-designing current trends. So how can you involve your customer? How can you involve your consumer? Okay, more from the industry as well, that you can transform these processes in the business itself. Okay, new technologization of the services that could improve the existing services, and internalization of the services, which will help the overall service industry. So it just not looking from like a contextual perspective, or just not looking within India. Maybe you can think beyond India. How can you collaborate with other researcher from other countries to improve your research? How can you contribute more to the world rather than just doing to the India? So it is just like a collaborative opportunity should be there in the service industry. Further, the recognizing the new challenges. What are the new challenges are coming in? Okay, for example, new experimental design and then testing of them. Okay, then simulations of new services, service productivity. So in our Taylor's University, we have been constantly doing collaborative research, and I always encourage that new researcher should do collaborative research, because that is the opportunities that you're going to get to learn more about it, to learn more about from the different country perspective. Okay, different context perspective. That is quite important. All right. Lastly, we have the developing sustainability. So sustainability is definitely an issue in the service industry, as we all know, because service culture is quite important. Our industry is changing. Our way of work is changing. So with the COVID-19, it also impacted our service culture, the way we work. We are more virtually available than physical. So this is how also impacted upon the overall sustainability of our jobs, right? There are so many lost jobs from different aspect in the different service industry, but it's also creating different opportunities for other people, different new jobs, okay, in the industry, looking into how they can improve the existing services. Service design thinking, there's also a different areas that can help any industry or any existing establishment to improve the overall services they have. Okay, so I have just put down three basic areas, okay, or three major aspect to look at if you're interested in doing research in the service industry. Okay, so the first approach, you can do some basic research topic, which is definition, typologies, and morphologies of services. Okay, further you can look into the models and system of services. Okay, basic models or service delivery system and so on. Specification of service standards, for example, service quality, service operation process, all those aspect you can look at. Then more on applied research topic. So if any of you are interested in doing some applied research in your respective field of service, you can look at service innovation, okay, which can include new service development or NSD, okay, service design thinking, okay, or SDT, okay, service design innovation or SDI. So these are new areas to that researcher can embark upon to provide better services or better innovation that could be applied in the current industry. Then service management, mainly in the marketing, right? Human resources, then other operation areas that you can look into the service industry. Okay, lastly is benchmarking assessments. So this benchmarking assessment are more on applied research. Lastly, we're going to look into or we're going to inform about the mega trends and the future growth. So internalization of the service economy, you can look into that area as well, because how maybe India is perceiving different services, or Indian hotel industry is perceiving different services, how it's perceived over other countries, Western countries. So you can do a comparative study. Okay, then further information services, for example, big data, artificial intelligence, blockchain, all those kind of area you can look upon to do into the mega trends or the future growth of your services or service research. And lastly is service design thinking. It's also a new area that most of the companies are embarking upon. Okay, so with that, I'll just go through few of the research topic to help you everybody out, that you may be struggling with your PhD, or you are struggling to find out new topics in your respective area. These topics could help you out to get started, get something new started. Okay, so first of all is from the hospitality aspect is the future of hospitality industry, where the future of hospitality industry gonna going to be. Then post COVID-19, different resolutions that they have. Okay, then post-pandemic recovery, what are the recovery efforts of the service industry they are making? Artificial intelligence, automation, robotics, these are really really good areas in the service industry to start your research. Okay, then economic resilience, what are the different economic resilience that the different countries or different perspective they are providing? Further is in looking into the crisis or the impact analysis that you can look upon. Okay, that is quite important, because COVID-19 has impacted the service industry over the world. Okay, so you can look at how the COVID-19 has impacted on the economy or in your respective area of expertise. Okay, further green hospitality practices, human resource policies development, new measures, new security, for example, biosecurity, how they are, are taken into different service industry, from hotels to airport to, transportation system, then other banking area, education sector, how the new measures are taken into account. Then service design thinking in praxis. Okay, wow, the service design thinking can be applicable practically in your respective area. Okay, further looking into more post-pandemic service innovation, what sort of new service innovation is coming to the service industry. The new SOPs in the hospitality area, what the new hospitalities areas have been developed, and further experience innovation. That is also a very good area. Okay, very new area that you can start looking into much published research paper. Okay, experience innovation. Then future skill set required by the the students who are graduating, or students who are in the semester 2 or 3. So they can actually look upon these areas that could really help the your research to start something that you want to get some idea to start upon. You can take this idea to start your research. And lastly is consumer behavior, how the new consumer behavior will be reflected in our society, right? We are maintaining physical distance, we are maintaining hygienic and as well as sanitation measures. So how it will going to impact on our consumption behavior, okay, as well as our consumer behavior. So these areas are really trending areas that you can look upon in terms of to start with your research. And these are the areas which are going to come in the future. Okay, that make sure that your industry or the service industry is prepared for it. Okay, now I'm going to give a last tip to how you make the research output should be successful. So that is very important to look at. No matter how much you're publishing, what is the impact of your research? That should be countable more. So most importantly, your data that you are collecting from people, because our research is reflection of the data we collected. Okay, if we don't have data, our research is just more into reviews, or like a systematic reviews of article published. So but still we need either secondary data or primary data. So it is important that whatever data you are collecting, to make it more usable, make it more successful. So first of all is that the data you have collected should be stored or preserved for future references, right? Next is shared. What are the areas that you can actually share? Is your research is citable by different researcher? Is your research output can be found on the internet, can be found on the different areas? Okay, next is it discoverable by the other researchers, right? Is it discoverable by the academics? Is it discoverable by the service industry personnel? Okay, is your research is accessible? So that is the next step that we have to look upon. And lastly is trusted. Okay, so whether your data is comprehensible, whether it's been properly reviewed, is it properly reproducible or not? So is your research you've done in maybe in India, whether that kind of similar research can be reproducible in US or in African market? So you have to look at from that perspective as well. And lastly, more important is reusability. Okay, is your output data can be reusable or not? Okay, that is more important for the researchers like us, that we can make sure that our research is much more impactful at the end of the day. Okay, it just not about producing research paper, it just not about producing research papers, it is about making it impactful, making it read by the other people. Okay, because one thing you have to keep in your mind, that we don't write papers for ourselves, we write papers or research paper or produce research for others to read. Okay, so that's why it's very important to understand that how can we make those information that produced by us should be more accessible, share on social media, be on researchgate, be on Google Scholar, share your information. That's how you can gain more knowledge. So it is always good to say that the more you share, the better your knowledgeable will be in future. So with that, thank you very much everybody for listening to this session. I'd like to thank you, Taylor's University staff. If you like to contact with me, I have my email details. I have my Facebook platform, LinkedIn, and Taylor's Expert platform. You can always get in touch with me if you need any sort of help in research or any sort of ideas that you can, expand. So with that, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you to the Hindustan College, the profile, faculty members for giving me these opportunities. Thank you very much, everyone. With that, I'm stopping my presentation here. Okay, I'll look forward to your question, okay, that you people have. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Very nice presentation and knowledgeable information, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you very much.
Any questions from participant side? Any questions from participant side?
Yeah, please feel free to jump in and ask me question. I would love to answer them. Maybe you're stuck in your research. Maybe you want to start something new. You can jump and start asking me question. We'll be happy to help you.
Respected participants, any questions?
Feel free to unmute yourself and ask me questions. We would love to answer them.
Good morning, sir.
Hi, morning.
This is Muhammad Ali.
Hi, Mohammed.
Thank you, Madam Anuradha, Madam, for giving me the opportunity to ask the question.
Thank you, sir.
Rupam sir, I am from management field and my area is marketing. And I would be thinking from listening your lecture, I was motivated to think to do research, PhD research in service industry. So how can we think for marketing as a base, as an a service, combining together, which topic will be better for research? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. First of all, I think the most important question that I would like to ask you, that what specific field or what specific topic you are interested in. Okay, that you have to ask yourself. Okay, sometimes we started with the topic, and I believe when I started my PhD, the most important area that I have looked upon is on service delivery system. Okay, which is basically one of the major area in the hospitality industry, especially in the hotel industry, that all the industry respective operation department are suffering from. So the most important thing you can look upon is what is the issue, what is the current issues in your respective field, no matter it's a marketing. So if you are interested in going to the service marketing, the most important aspect is to read more contemporary published or newly published research papers. Okay, it will give you some guidance. Okay, but you have to decide upon which particular topic you want to do research. Okay, because if you look into service management, there are like various numbers of areas, but when you are talking about PhD, the most important thing is PhD is all about onto a specific topic that you're going to be the doctorate of it. So even my students, the students I supervise, I always tell them, do that you love to do. It's not that after 1 month or 2 months you feel like, oh, I don't like this area, I want to go to a different area. Don't do that. First is you have to ask yourself what you really want to contribute to the industry, in what area, in what aspect. That will take your research steps into much more in a better way. Even though you are starting up with new ideas, but as I have presented, I think you can take some of those ideas that what the industry really needs. Okay, so if you like some areas that you're really interested in, you jump upon. Okay, and then you explore more. The further you explore, the better researcher you can be. Right, I hope this answer your question.
Thank you, sir.
You're
So
welcome.
one more question from chat box, sir.
Sure.
What kind of research
Mhm.
is effective in social science during the pandemic? By Dr. Maula Sheikh, sir.
Okay, can you just repeat the question? What research is
What kind
important?
of research is effective
Mm-hmm.
in social science during
Mm-hmm.
this pandemic?
Okay, there are a lot of areas to research upon. In terms of social sciences, I don't know. Social science is quite wide. We have hospitality, we have communication, we have education, everything inside them. But if you are more specific to an area, the best advice I can give you is to again look at the recent published papers. Look at the section at the end of the research papers where it says future revenues for research or future perspective for research. Okay, if you go to that section, it will give you your research gap. What is the gap in the current industry? What is the gap in the maybe in the social science on your respective field? Okay, so or in your respective topic you are interested in. Maybe you're interested in let's say the social media aspect. Okay, how social media could actually influence in the post-pandemic era. Okay, so you can look into on those areas which can help you out, identifying your new research topic, identifying your new research area, or maybe a very niche area that maybe you want to look at. Okay, so there are a lot of research topics, but more specifically what I can suggest is what topic you are interested in. Okay. Right, I hope that answered your question. Yeah, any more question?
Hello.
Perfect answer, sir. One more participant, sir.
Sure, sure.
Madam,
Good
please
morning,
ask,
sir.
madam.
Yes, ma'am. Sir, could you suggest what can we do in this pandemic situation for the research?
What sort of research you want to do in the pandemic situation?
I'm from biotechnology, biochemistry background, sir.
Okay, that.
We used to work in the lab and we used to
Mm,
get the data results like that. But now it is
okay.
not possible to do the wet lab experiments. So could you suggest something which we can do like online or something like that?
Sure. I think although it's not my area of expertise, but what I can suggest to you is maybe you can look at how the biosecurity in maybe in the service industry or biosecurity in different industry could actually help the customer to be me on the more safer side, right? So I know you are not having access to your labs or anything, but you can do run kind of social research or social science-based research, which is just looking into what are the different aspect of biosecurity that the industry is adopting. Okay, so in that area, I believe you can relate to your knowledge that what is the different biotechnology areas, or combining it together, service innovation into the biosecurity, how different services can help in this biosecurity or sanitization, as well as the hygienic process. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Ma'am, I have a request to the organizers. Yes, ma'am. Please tell me, ma'am. Ma'am, in future, if possible, could you arrange something like FTP or something like which we can cater the question I have asked? Means in the pandemic situation, it is not just virtual learning and FTP like that. If we want to do some research, what are the avenues or what can we do like that? If you have any program, it will be useful for everybody, I think. Definitely, ma'am. We'll do the needful. Thank you, ma'am. Sir, excellent replies, sir. One more question in the chat box, sir.
Sure.
Jammi Reddy Naini is doing research in migration of labor.
Mhm.
She needs guidance from you in this aspect, sir.
Migration of labor, maybe in a
Yes,
different
sir.
countries. Okay, so maybe can I ask what you are looking into the migration of labor? Either is it there like the accessibility of the laborers, or is it like accessibility of how the different countries terms and conditions are there? What aspect maybe you are looking into that is more important? Okay, so if you're looking into on those specific areas, what I would suggest, maybe you can do a comparative study in your respective field, like because there are so many countries which are actually doing the migration of laborers. For example, Bangladesh is there, then Nepal is there, then Vietnam, then Thailand. These are all Southeast Asia countries are there. You can look into their laws or migration laws, or migration effectiveness or accessibilities, how they are doing it, what are the different aspects are there, and what are the different areas, okay, that can excel, okay, in that term. So how can you make those particular areas into more accessible? Yeah. Okay, any other question?
No questions from participant side.
Okay.
So can I conclude, sir?
Yeah, sure. You can go ahead.
Uh, Respected participants, in this 5 days international conference, in the innovation challenges in the multidisciplinary research and practice, we have gathered all the scholars, scientists, engineers, researchers, practitioners, and students to share new innovative trends in the respective field. In day one session, Dr. Maheshwari Purushottam shared his wonderful knowledge about the intro and contemporary research and nanotechnology related to COVID-19. Day 3, Dr. Kandapan Balasubramaniam. I want to mention one more thing about Dr. Kandapan Balasubramaniam. Whenever we are conducting international conference or any technological issues and related to our college, definitely he'll be the main supporter of myself. My special thanks to Dr. Kandapan Balasubramaniam. He has explained expanding the higher education learning space into research opportunities. In day 3, Dr. Sablak Powder well explained the strategic research planning towards innovation and sustainable development. In day 4, Dr. Boneshwaran Gunashegaran from Taylor University, Malaysia, he has well understandable, knowledgeable session has given about building a new sustainability tourism through a pragmatic research approach. In day 5, our Dr. Rubam Kona sir has given a very informative excellent session today. His topic is contemporary research on preparedness of future service industry. Sir, excellent session you have given, sir. Really thanks a lot, sir. We had a very intellectual set of audience always, sir. I have the repeated set of participants whenever I'm doing conference or ICT tools workshop or anything. Many participants and repeated participants, they are giving their major contribution to have the successful seminars and conferences of Hindustan College of Arts and Science. I thank respected participants. Without you, nothing is possible in my department and in Hindustan College of Arts and Science. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, dear participants. Any feedback, participant side? Kindly you share the feedback.
Thank you everyone for joining the session of mine. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Ma'am,
Ma'am, please, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Yeah. Good morning to everyone present here. And good morning to Dr. Rupam, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yeah. I can hear you.
It's really awesome presentation, sir, regarding the future industry. And regarding the session, I just want to give my comments also. My name is Maheshwari Purushothaman, sir, Assistant Professor from Wales Institute of Science and Technology. Actually, it's a very, very wonderful international conference session where we have taken all the concepts regarding the research field. From day 1 till today's date, we were having so many knowledgeable presentation, and we have also gained so much of knowledge in attending these conferences. I hope it is not only me, all the other participants also will have the same feeling. And regarding Kandapan sir, and regarding other day 3, day 4, and yourself, you have given a very, very brief and a clear crystal explanation that each and every participant, not only from that field, from the respective other fields like biotechnology department, like chemistry department, like various other fields, I hope that they will also understand, because I'm basically from physics department. I too understand. I now involve my whole term in this research based on the knowledge which I have gained from these webinars, particularly those webinars that is conducted by the Hindustan department. I have to give a special thanks to Dr. S. Anuradha ma'am, the convener for the team, for such a wonderful organizing, and also the other organizers who were involved in the back of the screen. And I also have to thank the Hindustan College team for giving me an opportunity to convey my feedback regarding this session. Thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you, Rupam sir. Thank you for your wonderful session. Thank you, sir.
Very much. Thank you for the nice.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. I want to mention 2 technical support persons from my side, Mr. Hari Anand and Mr. Bhupati. They are the very supporter of myself for for all the sessions and all the conferences. I thank my dear respected staff members of both. Thank you. Any feedback from participants side? Sir, can we proceed vote of thanks, sir?
Uh,
Sir, can we proceed vote of thanks? Yes, sir. One participant. Yes, sir. Please.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes,
audible?
please. Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Myself, Dr. Sheikh, from Kolhapur, Maharashtra.
Please, sir.
In fact, I'm really pleased that such kind of the brainstorming session you have been organized so far. Honorable Bhupati sir, Honorable Dr. Anuradha madam, thanks for providing such kind of intellectual feast to we people. Irrespective of our background, you have given the you have covered the each and every aspects of the society and the research aspect is there. And therefore, from my side, from my page, we have been eager to be joined in coming upcoming sessions if you are going to be conducted in the near future. It's a humble request to another madam, if possible from your end, to conduct such kind of the seminars and conferences for our the colleges as such. We are trying our best to be give the number of participants from our side as well. And thanks again for such kind of the intellectual feast from my end. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Sheikh sir, you missed to tell about Mr. Hari Anand and Mrs. Jagadishwari and Mrs. Karnalakshmi, sir. You mentioned Bhupati, sir, as well as the members of 4 team are supporting all the conferences and ICT workshops also, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, yes, madam. Thank you, madam.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, can we proceed vote of thanks, sir?
Sure. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining the session, and thank you to Hindustan College and their faculty members. Thank you once again. It was really a wonderful, opportunity for me, and I hope all the participants got a little bit of idea. I believe, to be frank, to be straightforward, there are some questions came from maybe biotechnology, although I'm not respect to that particular field or not expertise, but I tried my best to give you, some information that you can research with. So in our university, we're just not particular about our own respective field, but yes, anybody willing to come back to me in terms of, like to contact me over social media or email or LinkedIn, you're welcome. And thank you, Dr. Anuradha ma'am, for this wonderful opportunity. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Kanna Lakshmi ma'am, you please proceed vote of thanks, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning to one and all. It is my great honor and pleasure to deliver vote of thanks. I, on behalf of PG and Research Department of Mathematics, would like to extend my gratitude to our managing trustees, Srimati Saraswati Kanayan ma'am, Dr. Priya Satish Prabhu ma'am, Principal Dr. A. Ponusami sir, Convener Dr. S. Anuradha ma'am, for organizing this 5 days online international conference on innovative challenges in multidisciplinary research and practices. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to our today's chief guest, Dr. Rupam Kannar sir, for his excellent presentation on contemporary research on preparedness of future service industry. In his presentation, he explained about the following points: driving force of experience economy, future of service industry, contemporary service sector, R&D service industry, bridging the gap between academic and industry, challenges in content for research and development, research of future service industry, and making research output successful. Once again, I thank you very much for the time and effort you took to share with us. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank all our participants for your continuous support and presence and making this session a memorable one. We hope we will meet you in the new platform again. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you all.